Hey, thanks for checking in on this pickleball paddle review of the Babolat RBEL Touch. This is the first Babolat product that I've ever had in my possession slash owned. I did not purchase this paddle. It was actually given to me by my friend Brian. And Brian, I believe, was previously sponsored by Babolat, but he graciously gave me this paddle in part because, and you can't really tell unless you look closely here, he had actually attempted to customize this paddle by virtue of painting the bumper guard. And I guess the paint job went a little awry and the paint splattered onto the face of the paddle itself, which rendered it ineligible for competition play. So there's nothing wrong with the paddle. It just was something that I think ended up sort of in the extra pouches of his equipment bag. So he was good enough to give it to me, and I did my best with some paintbrush cleaner to get rid of the excess paint. I did remove it from the bumper guard, and currently it just has some yellow electrical tape to cover up the bumper guard, but it's the original bumper guard is actually yellow itself. So anyway, the Babolat RBEL Touch is basically, it's designed as a kind of an all-round sort of paddle. It weighs in actually quite light originally, sort of unmodified at 7.6 ounces, and it's got a kind of a graphite face, so there is sort of a grittiness to it, but it is painted graphite, so it's not as sort of grabby as sort of a Toray carbon fiber or anything like that, but it's still got some decent sort of tack to it. But at 7.6 ounces, it's fairly light, really well weighted in terms of swing weight and hand speed. I don't have the exact specs on the swing weight, but I can tell you that it does not feel head heavy. And it's a 16.1 inch length. I would say it's a bit of an elongated face, not terribly elongated, but on the elongated side. 7.8 inches across. The handle length is 5 inches, which is close to accommodating a two-handed backhand. The one thing that I will note that I was not the biggest fan of is that the original grip size was 4 1/4, which is actually quite small. So if you've got bigger hands, then you might feel like, oh, I'm really kind of like closing my hand down hard to kind of get a good grip on this. So I think there are currently 2 overwraps on this to make it just a little more friendly in terms of my desired grip sort of pressure. And it is a 14 millimeter cord thickness, so it's a little thinner than a number of the rackets that I have, or paddles that I have currently in my repertoire. And I would say that, I mean, it is USA Pickleball approved, although this one is not, because there's still a little residual paint on the paddle face. But I would say that this is this has been a good all-around paddle. I've taken it to do drills. I've taken it to go sort of perform in some rec play. I do think that it's got some decent pop, and it's got a really adequate touch, if you will, for the RBEL Touch. And it does feel a little, however, boardy, and by that I mean just because of the 14 millimeter thickness, it feels like a kind of yeah, it just is very thin. It doesn't kind of give in the same way as a 16 millimeter thickness, and that stands to reason just by virtue of physics. But I think it still does provide some decent touch at the kitchen and around the kitchen. Has some really good pop if you're trying to punch volleys or swing away at volleys, and yeah, the graphite face does provide some pretty adequate spin. So I have weighted it. I've added some metal tape, and this now with the metal tape and the electrical tape and the extra grip comes in about 8.2 ounces, which is still really reasonable for something in terms of a standard paddle weight. I think honestly, like this is a great paddle if you are starting out. If you are still learning like I am, I think that if you want to generate more spin, then you'll want something with a carbon fiber paddle face. It does have a pretty decent sweet spot. I feel I have expanded it again with the placement of the metal tape. So sort of like here in the lower part towards the throat. I mean, Babolat makes quality products, so no complaints here. I'm grateful to Brian for providing it, and I would say to you that you really are not going to go wrong if you want to try to check out a Rebel product from Babolat, or probably anything else that they have. They've got plenty of experience in the certainly in the tennis field, and now into the pickleball. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope that your pickleball is going well this summer.